I hope you are fine, doing well. I hope you are studying your books. I hope what your teachers are teaching you are going through, not just attending the classes and throwing your books and enjoying the holidays. Go through your books thoroughly. In the last videos, we completed chapter 1 and I gave you question and answer. I hope all of you have written the question answers in your notebook. Please write the question answers, the exercise completely, clearly, with good handwriting and neatly without scribbling, because for the first time you are using pen. Please don't scribble, don't make the notebook very dirty, because a teacher is always impressed with good handwriting, and if you want to impress me, you have to write with good handwriting. So chapter 1 is finished. Now let us switch over to chapter 2 of your social studies book. So all of you open your book, and what I am teaching, see, read the book also, listen to me and see the video. In the last chapter, I saw that just without listening, you're just posting all the doubts. I have explained clearly because I know that you will be going through the video. I have in detail explained all the doubts. Just you attentively go through. I felt that you are not going through the video. Just panicking and just haphazardly you are posting the doubts and all. Go through it. Because when I am teaching something, I am teaching you with facts. I am also knowing that you are at home. And with that, I'm just, before teaching you, we are preparing a lot. It is not that just holding the book and coming and telling you everything. So that it will be easier for you to understand. So go through the video, go through the textbook, and you will find that everything is explained in detail. Still then, if you have any doubt, then you can post your doubt in the group. I will clarify it. I hope what I am teaching you, you are understanding. Now open your chapter 2, Medieval Indian History. In the first chapter we read about Indian history. We read that in the first chapter we read about ancient Indian history. Now we will read about medieval Indian history. In the last chapter we read about the 3 eras of Indian history. Ancient era, we read about ancient era and the dynasties or the families which ruled in the ancient era. The Indian history, please, I'd like to show you this. The Indian history is divided into ancient era, medieval era, modern era. In the last chapter, we read about ancient era. Now, in this chapter, we will read about medieval era, which is divided into early medieval period and late medieval period. The medieval period, which means 800 years to 1800 years, it is divided into early medieval period and late medieval period. The year from 800 CE, after the birth of Jesus Christ, to 1300 CE comprises of early medieval period, and the year between 1300 years CE to 1800 years, it comprises of late medieval period. But some historians believe that in the 1500 CE, the Mughals came to India and they ruled Indians. This one we will read later in the chapter. Now, I hope you got an idea about the medieval period. So, in this chapter, we'll read that what happened to India during these medieval ages, total medieval, early or late medieval, in medieval ages, and what all were the important families or dynasties. Dynasties is families which ruled India during the medieval age. Please now have a look at your chapter and listen to me. In this chapter, you will see how various dynasties ruled in India and what were their contribution was in different spheres like art, literature, etc. Now, the first topic which we are going to read is what happened during the medieval ages in India. After the ancient era, civilization became bigger and turned into larger kingdoms, which I explained to you in the earlier chapter, marking the beginning of grand kings and their dynasties. Now the kings and dynasties then began to rule India. Palaces and many amazing things. Medieval India refers to the time from 8th to 18th century CE. I just mentioned you from 800 years to 1800 years after the birth of Jesus Christ. That is known as medieval era in the Indian subcontinent. It is divided into two periods, the early medieval period which lasted from 8th to 13th century and late medieval period which lasted from 13th to 18th century. Now I mentioned you this thing, though many end the period with the start of Mughal Empire in 1526. Prithviraj Chauhan was a great ruler. He was the ruler of Delhi, and that time he was the Hindu king. Muhammad Ghori. Ghor is a place somewhere near Afghanistan and many parts adjoining nearer to Afghanistan. There is a province Ghor. So Muhammad Ghori was the ruler of that place. Who was another ruler? Fought battles with Prithviraj Chauhan. So he came to India and many times attacked India. And Prithviraj Chauhan was a brave king. Many times he also fought the war with Muhammad Ghori and drove away Muhammad Ghori. In their first battle, Ghori was defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan because Prithviraj Chauhan was a very brave king. He defeated Muhammad Ghori. This did not change Ghori's plan. So he returned with a large army. Ghori went back and he did not go and sit there. Again he came to attack India with a large, big army. Prithviraj, being an honest ruler, sent a letter to Ghori asking him to retreat as he had been defeated before. So Prithviraj Chauhan, because Indians are very good, kind-hearted people, so Prithviraj Chauhan sent a letter to Muhammad Ghori. He told that earlier also you had fought with me and I defeated you. So again I am telling you I will defeat you. So go back. Defeated before. Ghori agreed and shifted his camp back few kilometers. So Ghori was a very cunning fellow. I told, okay, I will get defeated, I am going back. So he, along with his army, he went back. After going few kilometers, there he then settled with his camp. He stopped there and then he settled his camp there. The Chauhan army was happy at this, but at the early hours of the dawn, when they were all sleeping, Muhammad Ghori came and attacked them and won the battle. So, the Indians, they were happy that, okay, our enemy has went back. But in the early hours of the dawn, when the sun was about to rise, the night was finished and the sun was about to rise, the army of Muhammad Ghori came and attacked Prithviraj Chauhan. And then it is believed, there is a little bit extension to this story, that Muhammad Ghori, he took Prithviraj Chauhan as a prisoner of war. Then he went back, he took Prithviraj Chauhan to Ghor. There what happened, Prithviraj Chauhan was an excellent archer. Archer, you know, one who can use the bow and arrow very efficiently is known as archer. So when he went there, Prithviraj Chauhan, he was blinded, his eyes were blinded. So his eyes were with arrow or something, it was blinded and it was bleeding profusely. So what happened? Prithviraj Chauhan, then Muhammad Ghori told that he was given an option that if he'll hit the target, Muhammad Ghori told, I have heard you are a very efficient archer and if you hit the target, I will spare your life. When Prithviraj Chauhan was given the bow and arrow, and with Prithviraj Chauhan, he had another person from his court along with him. So, that person, he dictated in Indian language that Muhammad Ghori is sitting on the throne. So, instead of hitting the target, Prithviraj Chauhan killed Muhammad Ghori. And then, Prithviraj Chauhan was also killed there. Some say he committed suicide, others say that during a war, the injured Prithviraj Chauhan was trampled by an elephant. There are many stories of Prithviraj Chauhan's death. But after killing of Muhammad Ghori, Prithviraj Chauhan also died. This led to the start of Islamic rule in India. Thus, the last Hindu king, Prithviraj Chauhan, died. And the Islamic ruler, they ascended to the throne of Delhi. And thus, the Islamic rule started in Delhi.
Chauhan! Prithviraj! तीर चला सुल्तान 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 क्या हुआ सुल्तान पकड़ो पकड़ो
Now next topic what we'll read is which dynasties gained importance during this age. Now during this period many dynasties throughout India. With every dynasty I will show you a map and you will see that which dynasty ruled how much portion of India. I will show you a map of India and then they will depict that this dynasty conquered this much space in India. So you will find that how powerful these dynasties were. So now we will read about the dynasties. The medieval age is very important period in the history of India. So this was the period of construction of India. It is very important. This middle period was the important period for the history of India. Developments in the field of art, language, religion and heritage were seen during this period. Medieval history can be marked by 7 major empires. So India, the shape of India or the future of India was made by these 7 powerful empires which conquered the Indian subcontinent during the medieval period. The Rashtrakutas, the Chalukyas, the Cholas and the Delhi Sultanate. Please all of you see your book also. In the book it is mentioned point wise. The Vijayanagar Empire, the Mughals and the Marathas. These were the 7 empires which shaped the Indian future. These 4 empires, the Rashtrakutas, the Chalukyas, the Cholas and the Delhi Sultanate, they belong to the early medieval period. Whereas the Vijayanagar Empire, the Mughals and the Marathas, they belong to the later medieval period. The Rashtrakutas, they began the King Danti Durga. He founded Rashtrakuta Empire, or Danti Durga Rashtrakuta was the founder of Rashtrakuta Empire, and he began from 753 CE after the birth of Jesus Christ to 982. This much period he alone did not rule. He, his son, his grandson, or this family ruled for this period in India. Then came the Chalukyas. Chalukya kingdom was founded by Pulakeshin Chalukya. He is the founder. He was the first Chalukya king to come on throne. They ruled India from 624 CE to 1189 CE. The Cholas, they mainly ruled the south of India. It was founded by Vijayalaya. Vijayalaya is the king. He found Vijayalaya Chola was the first Chola king, and they ruled maximum of South India, and we will read about them. It is very interesting. And they ruled India from 900 to 1279 CE. Then it was the Delhi Sultanate. A number of kings came to Delhi Sultanate. They ruled from 1206 to 1526 CE. The founder was Qutbuddin Aibak. We'll come to this topic also, how Delhi Sultanate will read. Then it was in the later medieval period, Vijayanagar Empire, mostly Vijayanagar comprises of Karnataka and parts of Andhra Pradesh, was founded by 2 brothers, Hariharavan and Bukka. These 2 brothers jointly, this brother duo, they ruled Vijayanagar Empire from 1336 CE to 1565 CE. Then came the Mughals to Delhi throne. It was founded by Babur. Babur came to Delhi, he attacked Delhi and he became the king of Delhi. He ruled. His grandson was Akbar, his son was Humayun. So we will read about them in the Mughal Empire. 1526 to 1857 they ruled India. Then came the Marathas, founded by Shivaji, Chhatrapati Shivaji founded Maratha kingdom. Mostly they ruled Maharashtra, Karnataka, and it was the Marathas ruled India from 1674 to 1819 CE. So these dynasties brought rich and diverse culture to India. These families, they brought rich, diverse means variety of cultures to India. Each of these dynasties had great stories to tell. Let us read about some of them. So you will read about these dynasties in detail in higher classes, but we have short paragraphs about this. Now let us read about them. The Rashtrakuta Empire. Rashtrakuta was a royal dynasty ruling large parts of Indian subcontinent between 6th to 10th century. We read that they ruled the large part of Indian subcontinent, means a large part of India. 6th to 10th century means 600 to 1000 years. The earliest known Rashtrakuta inscription, I told you earlier that Danti Durga founded this empire. The earliest known Rashtrakuta inscription is a 7th century copper plate grant detailing their rule from Manapura a city in central or West India. West India, Gujarat, Maharashtra, in that place it is there. One inscription, copper plate is there. It is inscribed, it is carved, and when the details were interpreted by the historians, they found that they had ruled the areas of Manipura in West India. West India is somewhere near Maharashtra, Gujarat, it is known as West India. Other ruling Rashtrakuta clan from the same period mentioned in inscription were the kings of Achalpur, modern Elichpur in Maharashtra. There is them in Maharashtra, they ruled that. The rulers of Kannauj is in Uttar Pradesh, it is nearly adjoining, nearer to Maharashtra or Gujarat it is there. During their rule, Jain mathematicians and scholars contributed important works in Kannada and Sanskrit. So during the rule of Rashtrakuta kings, one king did not rule. A number of kings ruled. The son of Tanti Durga, then his son, gradually they all were ruling. And during this period, because Jainism was on its peak during this era, this period, so Jain mathematicians, they contributed important works. Important works means they wrote important things, important research works. They wrote important theories in Kannada language and Sanskrit language during Rashtrakuta. The Chalukya dynasty. As I told, Chalukya dynasty was founded by Pulakeshin. The Chalukya dynasty was the Indian royal dynasty. Royal is always associated with kingliness, is known as royal. Royal dynasty that ruled a large part of southern and central India between the 6th and the 12th century, from 600 to 1200 years. During this period, they ruled as three related yet individual dynasties. They ruled different parts. They were individually ruling, but they were relatives also, related with them. The earliest dynasty known as Badami Chalukyas ruled from Vatapi, modern Badami. Badami is in Karnataka till date it is there. From there, the early Chalukyas, the earliest, they starting Chalukya kings, they ruled from there. From the middle of the 6th century, the rule of Chalukyas marks an important milestone in the history of South India. Mostly Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, all this Maharashtra was also part of South India then. So the milestone in the history of South India and the golden age of the history of Karnataka. Golden age, many of you had asked out. Golden age means where people are happy, where people are rich, where art, literature, culture, tradition, everything is developing and human beings are the subjects, the people of the king are happy. It is known as golden period or a prosperous period. And that is why the Chalukya dynasty is also known as the prosperous or golden age. Children, there is a small snippet here. Read carefully. The era of the Delhi Sultanate is also known as the period of Sultan rulers. Many dynasties, because this Delhi Sultanate means not one king, but many rulers, many Sultan rulers or Muslim rulers, they ascended the throne of Delhi. Many dynasties such as the Slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty and other dynasties ruled during this time. So all these dynasties or all these families, they ruled Delhi at this time, these Muslim rulers. Now I'd like to show you the period of Sultan rulers, or during this Sultan rulers, the slave dynasty was founded by Qutbuddin Aibak or Qutb-al-Din Aibak, because when Mahmud Ghori, he died, he had left his 4 slaves, 4 or 5 assistants he had left in India and he went back. Among the 4 assistants, Qutbuddin Aibak was one of the very efficient and very capable person. That is why he founded the slave dynasty and ascended the throne of Delhi. Next, Khilji dynasty. Khilji dynasty was founded by Jalaluddin Khilji. He was the founder of Khilji dynasty. After slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty came to power. After that, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, he founded the Tughlaq dynasty and ascended the throne of Delhi. The Chola Empire. Our next empire about which we are reading is Chola Empire. Please have a look at the book. Please go through the book, what I am teaching, see it and just compare with your book and listen peacefully. Everything depends on how we are listening. Listen peacefully. While most kingdoms were being built on land, Chola kingdom was unique to have been built facing the sea. It dominated south of India, and it was facing the sea. It has, I will, in the map now, earlier I'll show you the map. In the map you will see that Chola kingdom, you will see the empire, how much of big land area did they rule. It had the largest navy. The Cholas from Tamil Nadu gained control over what is now called Maldives, Sri Lanka, Indonesia and Malaysia too. The Cholas ruled for the longest time, and the golden age was during the rule of Rajendra Chola, the son of Rajaraja Chola. So, earlier I have told you that Chola Empire was founded by Vijayalaya Chola. So, some of the powerful rulers, maybe the grandson, maybe the nephew, someone powerful ruler of Chola Empire was Rajendra Chola and his son Rajaraja Chola. The Cholas were thus called the rulers of the ocean because they had maintained navy and because their entire empire was sea facing. It was sea coast. So they were known as the rulers of the ocean. The Delhi Sultanate. Now I told you about the Delhi Sultanate. In the beginning of this chapter, you had read Prithviraj Chauhan's story. I told you the story of Prithviraj Chauhan. He was the king of Chauhan dynasty, or the last Hindu king. With the defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan came the period of Sultan rulers. Now Qutbuddin Aibak, he founded the slave dynasty because Muhammad Ghori was also killed and his assistant, his slaves were left in India. So among 4 or 5 slaves or among 4 or 5 generals which he left in India, Qutbuddin Aibak was one of the capable person among them, and he ascended the throne of Delhi and founded the slave dynasty. One of the largest kingdom of medieval India. So Delhi was the heart of India. The Delhi Sultanate lasted from 1206 to 1526 CE. It lasted for more than 300 years. The Delhi Sultanate consisted of 5 dynasties which ruled Delhi. Qutbuddin Aibak was the first ruler. He started the construction of Qutub Minar, which was completed by his successor Iltutmish. Qutbuddin Aibak, the famous Qutub Minar, which is considered one of the identity monuments of India, or which is considered one of the signature of Indian architecture, was constructed by Qutbuddin Aibak, but he could not complete it. He died, and after Qutbuddin Aibak, his successor, the person after whom he ascended the throne, he completed it. Iltutmish completed it. The Vijayanagar Empire. The next empire is the Vijayanagar Empire. This Hindu Kannada Empire was the largest in South India and lasted from 1336 E to 1565 CE. It lasted this period. Krishnadevaraya was a well-known ruler from this empire, and he ruled over the land between Krishna and Kaveri river, the fertile land between the Krishna and Kaveri. So it is somewhat the place near Karnataka. The map, you please pause it and see the region which the Vijayanagar Empire chose. And you will read in detail about this in your 9th and 10th chapters. But in short, it was very powerful. People were very prosperous. Art, architecture was very much developed during Vijayanagar Empire. Now the Mughal Empire. Shah Jahan was another important ruler. Shah Jahan was the next ruler of Mughal kingdom. He was also known as the engineer king. Shah Jahan's he was very much famous for constructing monuments, and he is known as the engineer king. Why? He was not engineer, but he was having a crave for beautiful buildings. He was having a interest for constructing beautiful buildings, because many beautiful and grand buildings were built during his time. One such famous monument we all know about is the Taj Mahal, made of white marble. Taj Mahal is one of the 8 wonders of the world. People from all over the world, they come and they visit Taj Mahal, and I think there is no person on this earth who does not know about Taj Mahal. So it was made of white marble, which was brought from Rajasthan. So Shah Jahan built it in the memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. There is a story that Shah Jahan loved his wife a lot and his wife died. So Mumtaz Mahal is buried there in Taj Mahal, and to commemorate her death, to remember her death, to remember her all throughout the time, Shah Jahan built the beautiful Taj Mahal, and I hope many of you must have visited the tomb also. Now the Maratha Empire, the powerful Maratha Empire. The Maratha Empire, in the map you will see the region where they ruled. The Maratha Empire was huge and it spread through most of the South Asia from 1674 to 1818 CE. One of the important rulers of Maratha Empire was Chhatrapati Shivaji. Chhatrapati Shivaji was the founder of Maratha Empire and also a very brave, mighty and a king of wisdom. Shivaji was a very brave Maratha ruler and learned horse riding at a very young age, at a very tender age, very young age, when you are going to schools. At that time, Shivaji learned horse riding. His mother Jijabai is known to have had a great influence on him. Jijabai used to tell him the story of brave heroes who defended and laid down their lives for the sake of motherland. And that's why Shivaji was also inspired by the stories of his mother. He was powerful in South India where he established the Maratha rule. And thus Shivaji was the founder of Maratha rule in South India. So children, I hope you have understood this chapter. Please listen to the video carefully. Just don't be in a hurry. You have ample of time. Go through the book. Please read the book once. What is written where you should know that. And still then if you have any doubt, please do post in the group. And write, when you are writing the notes and all, please write in good handwriting. Don't scribble and don't make the notebook dirty. So have a good day and obey your parents.